Well, welcome to the Connect Show, Texas. We are so excited to be back with you on your Saturday morning. And of course, each week we are diving into different topics, business topics, life lessons, right, ladies? All of the things. We're leveling up with you on your Saturday. But welcome to my co-hosts, Michelle Hammonds and Wendy. Good morning, ladies.
Hi. Good morning. Good morning, Texas.
Good morning.
All right. Well, first, it's spring, right? But it feels like summer because this Texas heat never came to play. But we talk about spring cleaning, and that is usually for our homes. I know a lot of us are getting things together during COVID. We all realize we need to have a staycation type home. But let's talk a little bit about, just the importance of doing a soul cleaning, right? Because not only do you want your house right, but you want your mind, your spirit, and your body right. So how do you ladies incorporate cleansing your soul for the new season?
Well, I love this, Natalie. And yes, I agree that spring cleaning is so important for the soul. Life happens. Life happens and it's so busy. And it's, sometimes, we forget to, look back up and take a moment and take a breather and look at, ourselves. And spring cleaning is so good for the soul because it's a time I think that we can revisit our core values and, ask ourselves, what is it that I'm doing? What is it that I want? And, it's how we get back to what inspires us and what drives us. I think that's a good reason to do some soul, cleaning and spring cleaning of the soul. How about you, Michelle?
Oh my goodness, this is the best question. You guys know I love talking about anything that rejuvenates us and revitalizes our soul, our house, getting things in order. And I think what you were saying, Wendy, because we've just gone through this crazy month of May with graduations and like all the piling. And what will help us is asking the right questions, just taking time to ask ourselves hard questions sometimes. And so I think one of the best questions we can ask is we can actually not only ask ourselves, but go to someone we love and trust and say, hey, what is it like, living with me in this moment? Or what is it like doing business with me? And then giving yourself the freedom to not get offended if you hear something that they say, maybe that you don't like, because they have a different perspective.
And year after year, as we experience life, I think 2020 was just the best opportunity to really take a look at yourself, right? We're always taking a look at everyone else, but taking a look at yourself and really coming to terms with where you need to grow, what you do well, and really standing on your strengths and building where, we all have those spaces in our lives where we just need a little bit of improvement. And that soul searching is a perfect opportunity for that. And speaking of checking in with ourselves, let's talk about not giving up, because a lot of times when we are taking that time to reflect, and after being quarantined for so long, many people over COVID kind of slipped into the dip. And it's one of the books I'm reading right now. It's so powerful. But when life brings you challenges, for many people, they give up when the dip is there to really kind of throw you over the finish line, right? The dip is the opportunity, creating the margin to where, and I don't like to say quitters, but people that aren't willing to push through will stop, while those that are willing to survive the dip will go forward and reach their goals. So how do you ladies keep going and not let the dip take you from your dream or your passion?
Well, I think as you were saying that, I love that book. What book is that, by the way?
Girl, I just started it today. I'll text it to you. It's going to be our book of the week probably next week.
Okay.
Good.
That is so good. What you were saying, it just reminded me of this phrase that when you're going through pain, you have to push through it because when you go down to that dip, it's painful. You're struggling, you're growing, you're pushing. So you have to, when you go through the pain, you have to push so you can be propelled forward. So pain, push, propel.
I think for me, I have, when there's obstacles, when you want to give up, my husband has always said something to me that's always resonated with me. And I guess I look at giving up or obstacles more as complaints. And we've always have said to each other, We won't spend time on complaining because that's time wasted, and we're going to spend time on solutions.
Yeah.
And that's basically our way of pushing through, or my way of pushing through as well. I'm like always thinking, it's our choice. There's always going to be bad days. There's always going to be restless nights. There's going to be moments of wanting to give up. But it's our choice how we pick, how we're going to handle it, how we're going to respond to that.
Oh, I just love the conversation already. Sit tight because we have such a great show ahead. After commercial break, we have the complete woman joining us. You're not going to want to miss out on this woman. She's incredible. But first, it's all about brains and beauty. So let's check out our book of the week.
Hey everyone, my name is Belinda. I'm a busy mom from a small town in West Texas. I wear many hats throughout my day, from mom, wife, CFO, and having my own YouTube channel. Pretty much anything thrown my way, I'll give it a try. I share a ton of different tips over on my YouTube, from cooking, cleaning, and organizing your home to all things mom. I would love to share all this with you. Find me over on all of my socials for the latest, and of course subscribe to my YouTube channel under Belinda & Co.
Hi, I'm Ananda Lewis. I help women thrive. You can find me on Instagram at I'm Ananda Lewis or on my new app, Elixir, available in all app stores right now. And you're watching the Connect Network TV.
Well, welcome back to the show. So our next guest is a woman of Christ. She's a mother of 5 and the complete woman. So please help me welcome Tomaka Ravenell. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Hello. Thanks for having me on today.
I love your name, The Complete Woman. It's just so fulfilling, and I'm just so excited to dive in with you on how you got started and ended up The Complete Woman.
Well, honestly, what happened is I realized that within our community of women, there was a gigantic gap of friendships and connections. And I wanted to try and shorten that. So what I began to do in 2015, I began to have like fireside chat and chew conversations where I would pick a topic and I would just invite a few women within my circle. And it became a very popular thing very quickly. So what I decided to do was to actually turn it into a business. From there, I went on to get my life coaching certification. I went on to get a few other certifications in order to deal with teenage crisis and things of that nature in order to help women learn how to bond and learn how to connect and learn how to heal. And so the reason why I say complete woman is because we all have this vision or this interpretation in our minds of what we should be at the end of our journey or at a season in our life. And we're never actually complete.
You know, in your mission statement, you say you help remove obstacles. And I love how that's worded because people tend to blame others or even themselves when something doesn't go right or when they get into the dip, as we spoke about when we kicked off the show. How do you get people to identify obstacles?
Well, I have a strategic strategy in place where we when we're doing the chat and choose, or when I'm doing one of my other exercises like a vision board, I do vision board events as well. When we're doing those events, especially when I'm doing my one-on-one counseling and life coaching, I do the mirror effect. So the mirror effect is where I have various questions that gets you to kind of admit that you played a part or admit that you didn't really play a part and you're taking responsibility for someone else's, whatever they may have did. So it frees them from thinking that they are the blame.
Tamaka, going through your website, it clearly states that youth and teens are welcome, which I find it very important because in this day and age, social media, they go through a lot with social media.
Absolutely.
And yeah, and my daughter is college bound this fall. And so how to create a safe space for that age group as well?
Absolutely. Well, I also, being that we opened up with I'm a mother of 5, I've sent a couple of kids off to college, and I have one that decided to go straight into the workforce. And I have an 18-year-old that will be leaving at the end of August, my 4th.
Wow.
I'm coping with that as well. What I decided to do when I constructed my business, I've always worked with the youth and teens. I volunteered with children youth program at my church for many, many years. I did children's church. I went to a few different certification classes to be able to identify when they're in crisis. So if there's a teenager and they may be struggling with something, I'm actually trained and certified to come in and help them. Whether if they're suffering with bulimia or suicidal thoughts, whether if they're struggling with maybe having schizophrenic thoughts, I'm able to identify within a short few brief moments and be able to direct them towards that help that they need. They can find me on Instagram at Complete Woman, and I'm on Facebook at Complete Woman. Also, my email address is BEYOU complete.com, and I'm sorry, that's my website, and my email is bucomplete@gmail.com.
Thank you so much. And thank you.
Thank you.
Everyone else, do not go anywhere. Grab your favorite snack because we have so much more coming after the break. But first, here is the week's podcast pick of the week.
Good morning. This week's tech tip, I'm going to talk to you about something called the Stir and Shaken Protocol or framework. And no, I'm not talking about how James Bond likes his martini. What I'm talking about is something that the FCC has put in place to basically help with those super annoying robocalls that you're getting. In case you didn't know, there are approximately 2 billion fraudulent robocalls that are made a month. And what the FCC has put in place is Stir and Shaken, and they're acronyms for the Secure Telephone Identity Revisited, also known as Stir, and signature-based handling of asserted information using token standings. Most of the suppliers or providers are going to have this implemented no later than June 30th. So this will definitely cut down on those spoofed robocalls and help with you not getting scammed. So when you think of Stir and Shaken, don't think of James Bond, but think about the fact that those robocalls are going to be going away. Thank you.
I'm Gay Gaddis, and I help women achieve their most lofty goals and get ahead and be successful in every way that is authentic to them. But you are watching the Connect Network TV today.
Well, welcome back to the Connect Show, Texas. So our next guest is a woman that really always wanted a taste of real estate. I'm kind of like that. I've always had this attraction to real estate. Please welcome Danna Aaron to the show. Good morning.
Good morning. Hi, ladies.
Morning.
Danna, it's so wonderful to have you here with us today. And learning about you, I saw that you lived in Dallas for 20 years. and you've been in West Texas for several years now. So you must know the Texas market pretty well. You actually worked in corporate America first, and before you transitioned into real estate. How was it that you knew real estate was for you?
Well, I started out actually as an apartment community manager, and then I transitioned from that into the corporate office and transitioned into accounting actually. So for almost 20 years, I was a project and property accountant at development and property management real estate companies that we manage properties all over the country. And so I've had real estate in my blood for the entire time, just on the accounting side. And I just wanted to transition over into property management at some point that I had done before, and then over into residential sales at some point as well. And the move to West Texas kind of prompted that change, as the type of corporate accounting I did in Dallas, really, you didn't find it out here in West Texas. So it was a good time to make a career change.
Wow. I love that you used the move to shift your career change as well. It seemed like the perfect opportunity for you. And I love that you are so in touch with the market. And I also see from learning about you that you focus on first-time home buyers and veterans, which I love, since veterans can sometimes be forgotten. Did they have a lot of offers like the first-time buyers? And what are some opportunities that they can take advantage of?
There are some great benefits to veteran borrowers. They typically require no money down, no down payments, and they have a limit on the amount of closing costs that can be charged to them. And then, not to mention, they usually have a lower interest rate. So there's a lot of benefit for a veteran borrower.
I just love that so much. So there are actually, so this is another aspect, we're talking about buying, we're talking about veterans, interest rate, which is so important and so interesting. But another thing that I think is so interesting is the fact that you did a career change. You had real estate in your blood, like you said, but I know that in this transition and changing in our world, that a lot of women who are in different careers that I've talked to have actually had interest in, kind of dipping their toe in the real estate market. What kind of tips can you give them starting out? What should they do?
One of the first things I would recommend is to really research the real estate schools that are available. There's different styles. A lot of people really need the structure of going to a class. And so you'd want to find a school that would accommodate that. I did really well doing the self-paced classes. I was able to continue working and then work on my classes in the evening, on the weekends, and that worked really well for me. So it's going to depend on your individual style.
Such good points, Danna. So excited and just happy to have you on the show. I know you have a lot of properties. You've been able to kind of look through your website. Tell everyone where they can find you.
Well, my website is homeishere.realestate. So if you go to that website, I'm also on Facebook, Danna Aaron, Fathom Realty, and on Instagram. And then I can be reached at 432-203-4567.
Danna.
Thanks again, Danna. And everyone sit tight, but we will be right back. Welcome to this week's Minute with Marcy. Today I want to talk to you guys about your at-home skincare routine and some things that you can do to improve the quality of your skin at home. First of all, consistency is the key. You can buy all the fancy products in the world and go throw them in your drawer, and if they're hidden in the drawer, they're not doing their work. So consistently use quality skincare products. At MC Aesthetics, we sell Eminence and SkinCeuticals, and so we definitely have something for everyone. In the AM, you should be cleansing, exfoliating, repairing, moisturizing, and using sunscreen. In the evening, we want you to cleanse, exfoliate, and repair or moisturize. Exfoliation is so important in the evening because that's when the magic happens, guys. It's at night. So make sure that you're exfoliating so that whatever is being reabsorbed into the skin is something that we want reabsorbed. People who are sleeping in their makeup, big no-no. Don't fall asleep in your makeup, guys. Also, side sleepers. I'll see you next week for another Minute with Marcy.
Welcome back to the show. So our next guest has been coined Kandy the Conqueror. She is a social, it's not even good, that's just really good.
That is good. That's a good coin.
I like that. Yes. She's a social media expert and director of marketing at Conqueror Marketing Agency. Kandy Robertson is our influencer of the week. Welcome to the show, Kandy.
Hi.
We're so excited you're here. The Conqueror is here. And
Yes.
you know we all need help with social media. So what are your tips to help social media marketers and help brands, help influencers succeed?
So first of all, I think a lot of people who post on social media get the concept wrong. So what I mean by that is like they post a lot of content for them versus content for your target audience. So you should really focus on what does your consumers or your audience want from you. So you want to establish relationships with your followers. And I think a lot of people do not do that. They just think about themselves. So they'll just keep posting and posting about themselves versus trying to help who your target audience is. That is something I see a lot that a lot of people are doing wrong with social media. And also when people have social media, they usually don't know who they are and what they want to establish with their audience. So what I mean is a lot of people don't have a brand identity or a brand personality. So when we have followers that come to your page, they don't really know who you are and what you do because you haven't established an overall aesthetic, a theme. For example, let's use me. I use the name Kandy the Conqueror, right? And my agency is Conqueror Marketing Agency. And I pushed the whole, I came here to conquer. We all came here to conquer. So a lot of my theme is related to empowering queens to conquer the world. So I keep that overall aesthetic and the overall theme into everything that I post.
Kandy, that is such like great information. Social media is, I'm always inspired by all the influencers and just wonder like, how do they do it? How do they grow so fast and so big? And I'm just like always thinking it's so amazing. How should we be using social media to actually generate income?
So social media is a great way to for another source of income when you establish relationships with your followers. And in our agency, we use relationship marketing because especially in 2021, people want to relate to you. They want to relate to the brand. They want to relate to the company. They want to know and like who they're buying from, and whoever is behind the brand. They want to relate to you.
Okay, so Kandy, I'm just fascinated at your story, your feature on Yahoo Finance. You were listed as one of the top 10 social media experts to watch out for in 2021. And as a business owner, we all want that national recognition.
Yes.
So what an honor. Congratulations. Talk about how Yahoo learned of you and your business. How did you get yourself out there in such a way? And what tips do you have for others looking to just build their brand in the global space?
Well, they found me on Instagram, and my tips for everyone is to actually show up for yourself. So every day you post, and you post on all of your platforms. I'm on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. You just show up for yourself and keep posting content that relates to who you are and represents who you are and what you do. And people, they will come to you if they like what you're saying and things like that. And people, naturally will just start sharing you, and you just, especially your story. I think a lot of people don't understand. It's like, it's your story that makes who you are, and people are intrigued by your story. So everyone has their own story, and I really pushed my story out there
So then I started getting interviews on different magazines and different media outlets because it was a story that's unique to me. And that was something that I kept pushing with everything that I did.
I love your story, Kandy. How can people find you, reach out to you, work with you?
You can find me you can actually look me up on my website, ikandylay.com, and you can follow me on all platforms because I tell you, keep your brand the same. So everything is iCandyland with a K.
So good. Kandy, thank you so much for being with us today. We are going to take a quick break and be right back.
One Executive Suites is Midland's premier co-working space that meets the professional workspace needs of freelancers, travel for business, or professionals that work from home. Co-working is an inspiring working environment that saves members with its cost sharing. We also have different membership options available. High-speed internet and free parking too. One is the place to work hard and dream big.
Another amazing show this Saturday. I was just so impressed with every guest we had, all the advice that was given. I know that you were so encouraged as well. There's so many things that you can take, apply them to your business today, this week, and level up. Let's do this.
Yes, it was so good. Such a great show today. And before we close out, I wanted to give a spotlight on June being Black Music Month.
Yes. Woo-hoo!
Black Music Appreciation Month is an annual celebration of African American music in the United States. It was initiated as Black Music Month by President Jimmy Carter, who on June 7th, 1979, decreed that June would be the month of Black music. Yeah.
So much fun. Who knew? I had no clue.
I know. I love
that Jimmy Carter came up with that. So pretty awesome. We hope you guys are celebrating with some good music yourself, for yourselves over the weekend. So that's all the time we have. And if you're enjoying this Girl Boss magic, you can catch all of our past episodes on our YouTube channel. Yes, I know. It's time to go. The show is over.
The show is over. You guys, don't forget to join our membership. You can register today. ConnectOnline.com. This month's mastermind is being led by Maria Howard. She's a general manager of Hydric and Struggles, and she is teaching you how to overcome your inner critic and ask for what you want. So if you want to ask for what you want and even figure out what you want, you need to come and join our membership. We can't wait to see you there.
That's right. Sign me up. We'll see you next week.